In the Urantia Book, the mansion worlds are presented as the first organized stage of mortal survival after death. They are not depicted as a vague heaven, a place of passive reward, or an eternal resting place. Rather, they are transitional training spheres where surviving mortals resume their interrupted growth and begin the conscious Morontia career. Paper 47 describes these worlds as part of the larger Jerusalem system of transition culture, with the 7 satellites of Transition World Number 1 being more specifically known as the Mansion Worlds. This teaching gives the afterlife a strikingly structured character. Survival is personal, educational, social, administrative, and progressive. The human being does not become instantly perfected by death. Instead, personality is restored. Memory is reassembled, deficiencies are corrected, relationships continue, and the long paradise ascent begins.
A central idea in Paper 47 is that the mansion worlds are not the final destination of the soul. They are the first Morontia schools of survival. The text says that all 56 encircling worlds of Jerusalem are devoted in some sense to the transitional culture of ascending mortals, while the 7 mansion worlds are especially assigned to this early postmortal training. This is important because it reframes death. Death is not graduation into final spiritual perfection. It is a transition into a new educational environment. The first mansion world continues what mortal life began. Survivors resume their lives just where they left off when overtaken by death, now with a different body and a different environment.
The mansion worlds therefore function as mercy worlds. They compensate for the inequalities, incompletions, and distortions of mortal life. They provide opportunity rather than instant judgment. They are correctional in the highest sense, not punitive, but restorative.
The first mansion world is the most important for understanding Urantia's doctrine of resurrection. It is the sphere where sleeping survivors are reassembled into conscious personality. The text identifies the very center of its activities as the Resurrection Hall, also called the enormous temple of personality assembly. This resurrection is not described as symbolic or merely emotional. It is a coordinated universe event involving several orders of beings. The seraphic destiny guardians, thought adjusters, archangels of resurrection, and life carriers all function in this process.
The thought adjuster preserves the spiritized mind, memory factors, and spiritual values of the mortal life. The seraphic destiny guardian preserves the Morontia soul trust. Resurrection occurs when the adjuster's spirit-mind trust and the seraphim's Morontia soul trust are reunited, reassembling the surviving personality. This gives the Urantia view of resurrection a deeply ordered character. It is not chaos, spectacle, or magic. It is personal continuity through divine custody. What is valuable, spiritual, and survival-worthy in the mortal person is preserved and restored.
Perhaps the most psychologically profound teaching is that survival does not erase unfinishedness. The book says that on Mansion World Number 1, mortals continue their intellectual training and spiritual development at the exact level where death interrupted them. Between death and resurrection, the mortal gains absolutely nothing except the fact of survival itself. This has major theological implications. Death is not a shortcut to wisdom. It does not automatically produce maturity. The same person awakens, but in a higher environment and with new opportunities. This teaching preserves moral continuity. The human life matters because the choices, habits, defects, loyalties, and spiritual achievements of mortal life are carried forward. At the same time, it removes despair because imperfection is not final. The mansion worlds exist precisely because unfinished beings can continue.
Paper 47 describes the first mansion world as being largely devoted to deficiency ministry. Survivors arrive with many defects of character and deficiencies of mortal experience, and the major activities of the realm are occupied with their correction and cure.
This is one of the most beautiful ideas in the passage. Mansonia One is not a punishment world. It is a healing school. It corrects the missing pieces of mortal life: undeveloped character, distorted understanding, incomplete experience, emotional immaturity, social deficiencies, and spiritual imbalance. This also explains why the mansion worlds are social and educational. Personality grows through instruction, companionship, service, correction, and experience. The afterlife is not solitary contemplation. It is a civilization of rehabilitation and ascent. After resurrection, the survivor does not immediately begin formal training. The text says the resurrected mortal proceeds from the resurrection halls to the Melchizedek sector, receives a permanent residence assignment, and then enters 10 days of personal liberty. During this time, the survivor may explore the new home, learn the immediate program, consult the registry, and call upon loved ones and earth friends who arrived earlier. This detail is deeply humane. The universe allows the newly awakened survivor to orient emotionally and socially. There is time to discover, adjust, reunite, and understand. The first post-mortal experience is not bureaucratic pressure. It is personal awakening. The registry detail also gives the first mansion world an emotionally powerful narrative function. Survivors can search for those who preceded them. Reunion is not abstract. It is organized and discoverable.
Paper 47 also presents one of the most tender doctrines in the Urantia Book, the Probationary Nursery on the finaliters world. Children who die before acquiring full individual status are not lost. Their potential identity is preserved, and they are later awakened in the nursery schools of the Morontia worlds. These children are personalized at the exact physical status they had at death, except for reproductive potential. They are then given the opportunity to grow, be trained, and eventually choose the paradise path. This doctrine emphasizes fairness. A child deprived of mortal opportunity is not deprived of eternal opportunity. The universe provides a setting where moral choice can still emerge.
The passage about mansion world parents visiting their children is especially moving. Parents with growing children in the probation nursery may collaborate with the Morontia custodians and visit as often as 4 times a year. The text calls it one of the most touchingly beautiful scenes of the ascending career when mansion world parents embrace their material offspring during these pilgrimages. This turns the mansion world system into a family-centered universe. Survival is not merely individual ascent. It includes parental responsibility, child nurture, emotional continuity, and relational healing. The text also states that no ascending mortal can escape the experience of rearing children, either their own or others. It explicitly says that fathers need this parental experience as much as mothers. This is a strikingly balanced teaching. Parenthood is not treated merely as biological reproduction. It is a character-forming universe discipline. The experience of nurturing immature personality is part of the training of ascending mortals. In the larger theology of the Urantia Book, this makes sense. The paradise ascent is not only intellectual or devotional, it is relational. To become more godlike, the creature must learn care, patience, responsibility, mercy, and wise guidance. Child culture becomes a school of divine likeness. The first mansion world is not lonely. The text describes the Morontia companions as personal guides assigned to ascending mortals. One Morontia companion is assigned to each company of 1,000 ascending mortals at the start, and these beings serve as guides, interpreters, translators, excursion supervisors, and leisure associates. This gives the mansion worlds warmth and civilization. Ascension is guided. Survivors are not abandoned in a strange universe. They are welcomed, oriented, accompanied, and helped. The presence of Morontia companions also supports the idea that spiritual progress includes culture, recreation, travel, and companionship. The mansion worlds are not merely classrooms.
They are living worlds.
Transition world number 1 is called the finaliters world. It is associated with finaliters, salvage children, caretakers, and the probationary nursery. The text says the great temple of the finaliters is not visible to unaided material or early Morontia vision, though energy transformers can sometimes make these realities visible to ascending mortals. This introduces an important metaphysical principle. Reality exceeds present capacity. Even after death, the ascending mortal does not immediately perceive everything. Vision expands gradually. Higher beings and structures may be spiritually sensed before they are actually seen. This protects the mansion world concept from becoming simplistic. The afterlife is not instant omniscience. It is progressive perception. Survivors awaken into a greater universe, but they must still grow into the ability to see and understand it.
Paper 47 presents the mansion worlds as one of the most complete afterlife systems in modern religious literature. They are educational, architectural, parental, administrative, relational, and merciful. The first mansion world is especially important because it is the world of resurrection and reorientation. The surviving mortal awakens in the temple of new life, not as a finished being, but as a continuing person. The thought adjuster's spirit-mind trust and the seraphic soul trust are reunited. Personality is restored. Memory continues. Loved ones may be found. Children are nurtured. Deficiencies are corrected. Training resumes. The paradise ascent begins.